Namaskar to all Jyotish seekers and a warm welcome to my channel Sajeev Jyotish. Today I'm bringing a very important topic as I call 3 steps to prediction, which every astrologer or student of astrology should know. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Rajat, but my astrology guru gave me a name Manu Bharadwaj. Manu is my nakshatra name and Bharadwaj my gotra, so I would like to introduce myself as Manu Bharadwaj. I have been a Jyotish sadhak, practitioner, researcher, and have been teaching Jyotish for last 6 years or so. The reason why I'm bringing this topic today is in last 6 years of my teaching experience, I have seen many students, they either overlook or just ignore this very important process in prediction, in chart analysis. Jyotish, as we all know, is quite complex. It's multidimensional. There are just too many data points over there. So, this process of 3 steps would really help us analyze the chart in a very systematic and logical way. It will give a very systematic and logical flow to your analysis and will help you land at quite accurate prediction. So, what are these 3 steps to prediction? Let's kind of now dive into it. So, 3 steps to prediction. The first is promise, second is dasha, and third is transits. I'm sure all of you would have heard of this, right? Promise, dasha, and transits. Let's understand each of these. The first comes promise, right? And to make you understand this, I'm going to use an analogy, an example of, let's say, a delivery, a delivery of the parcel. Now, when we talk about promise, the first thing we need to see in the chart if the promise is there or not, right? Now, what is promise? Promise is any kind of, whatever event we are seeing in the chart. For example, marriage, children, promotion in career, right? Moving abroad, buying a property, or anything of that sort, right? So that's what we call a promise. So, first step is to actually see that whether the promise is there in the chart or not. It is something like this. You have to first order something, you know, whatever it is, whichever platform you're on, you will first order something. So once you order something, that means you're 100% sure that you are going to get that product because you've ordered it. You've gone on a certain website, you've placed the order, you've paid the money, and it will get delivered in how many ever days, but there is a promise that it will come to you at some point of time. Likewise, when you look at a kundli, at a chart, and if you see there is a combination of, getting married or having a child or going abroad or, whatever, that means there is a promise in the chart, it is going to happen. So, this is step one. We must look at whatever event we are analyzing, whether that's going to happen or not, whether there is a promise in the chart or not. Then comes step two. Step two is dasha. Now, dasha is basically whichever planet is making that combination. For example, if you're talking about promotion in career, right? Let's say a certain planet, let's say Venus is making that combination. It's a part of maybe a Raj Yoga or whatever. Now, it is going to get fulfilled when Venus Dasha comes. You know, when Venus Dasha comes, this promise will get fulfilled, whatever the time is, right? As we know, planetary dashas, right? They have certain time. It could be 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, 20 years, like Venus. So whatever the planet that is forming a yog, a promise. So when the period of that planet comes, as we call it dasha, that is when it is going to get delivered. Now, going back to our example, let's say at the time of placing the order, it said that on a certain day, that parcel will get delivered. Let's say if it was a Friday. So that means Friday you are going to get that parcel. That's like dasha. Dasha runs for certain period of time. In case of Venus, it's 20 years. So in these 20 years, I'm going to get this. Let's take a smaller dasha, let's say sun. In 6 years, I'm going to get this. So okay, in the time period of this planet, I'm going to get this results. Like how in our example of parcel delivery, on this Friday, I'm going to get this parcel. The third step in this is transits, what we also call gochar in Hindi. Now, transits, as we understand, are the celestial delivery boys. So, on a Friday, when I see a delivery boy passing by, I am hopeful that probably this is my parcel, right? So, that is what transits are. Because planets are moving, right? When you were born, there was, if we take a snapshot of the sky at that point of time, that is your chart. But planets are continuously moving. They are moving as I speak. So when the right transits happen, when the moving planets, they come at a certain place, whatever the promise shown, that will get delivered. So we will have to wait for the right transits to happen. Again, going back to our example, it will be something like, okay, Friday it's going to get delivered, but whenever I see the delivery boy coming, at whatever time the delivery boy comes, I know my parcel is going to get delivered. So that's the importance of transits. So it is important that we see things in this pattern. There is stage 1, promise, stage 2, dasha, stage 3, transits. And you cannot change this pattern. The analysis of the chart has to happen in this flow. The first is promise, the second is dasha, and third is transit. Many a times I have seen people start discussing transits. Oh, Saturn is moving here, Jupiter is moving here. This is what it means. Jupiter is moving in the 7th house or in so certain Rashi. This is what it means. It is something like this. If every time I see a delivery boy passing by my house, I feel, okay, I'm going to get a delivery. I'm going to get a parcel. Is that possible? Especially when I have not placed an order, how can I get any parcel? Right? So it's not that the delivery boy himself will come and give me a parcel if I have not placed the order. So just looking at transits, or first looking at transits without looking at the promise, it's same thing. If I have not placed something, how am I going to get it? If the promise is not there in the chart, no matter what transits are going on, I'm not going to get anything. So we must understand this, because I see a lot of people are practicing it, and this is a wrong way of looking at the chart. Please remember, transits do not decide the results. They do not manufacture results. What they do is they only decide the delivery time, what time that promise will be delivered, but they cannot change the promise. If the promise is not there, good transits are not going to give you anything. And if the results are there, then sooner or later, when the right transits come, that result will get delivered. So please remember, transits do not manufacture results or events, they just help in the delivery of the promised event. So for us to look at transits, the question would be not what, the question would be when. They only decide the timing. And that too in that time period of dasha, whichever planet is forming that yoga or that, promise. In that dasha of how many years it might run, within that bracket, the right transits will deliver the promise. So it is, if it's not in the chart, transits are not going to give you anything. So it's my earnest request to all the students of Jyotish that please follow this three very simple but very profound process of analysis. First, look at the promise, then dasha, and then transits, and not other way around. I hope this clarified certain doubts that you guys had, and I'll be very happy to know from all of you if you have certain topics that you want to discuss, that you want me to come and talk about. I'll be more than happy to do that. Uh, I will be actually releasing a video every Thursday. So stay tuned. And the next topic that I would be discussing will be very interesting. It is about Shani Sarasati. So, and I understand it is one of the most feared things in Jyotish. So, I would be actually demystifying Shani's Sarasati. So, please stay tuned and thank you so much for watching my video.